Geeks with Beards. Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Geeks with Beards podcast. This episode will be covering something fairly new, actually. Just came out last year. Gatchaman, number 0 from Free Comic Book Day 2024. Written by Collin Bunn. I mean, you both know Collin Bunn.
We do.
Fucking amazing writer. He's a great writer.
It's pretty good.
And the artist is Chris Batista. Now, I didn't research him. I don't know if I've ever read anything that he's drew or not before. I don't know if you ever have or not.
No, not to my knowledge.
So we'll get into it. It's a definitely a unique art style that I don't think I've ever read before or seen before.
It's very anime-ish.
Well, yeah. So before we jump into that, what have you got into, man, since our last episode?
Well, I went and seen the re-release of Star Wars Episode 3.
Ooh, hell yeah.
It was cool because Hayden Christian had recorded a special intro for it.
Oh, seriously?
Like for something recent.
Okay.
It was neat.
Hell yeah. Was he the only one that did that?
Yeah.
The only one did? Okay.
Yeah.
I have to say, I actually, out of the prequels, that's the only one I went to the theater and watched back in the day. Went and watched it with my brother. I guess it was because I knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
I knew he was going to become Vader. I told my brothers, because my brother's a bigger Star Wars fan than I am. Even though he's younger than me, and he's like, dude, we gotta go watch this. I'm like, well, what's it about? Because I didn't pay attention that much to trailers back then. And I looked on it and it's like, oh, hell yeah. He becomes Vader. We got to go.
Yep.
Now, does memory serve you pretty good? Did they change anything?
No, it's the same.
It's just a straight re-release?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was to celebrate the 20th anniversary.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I didn't know maybe if they tried to pull like a Lucas special edition and add stuff or something like that. I didn't know if they'd done something like that or not. So.
I know a lot of people don't like the add-ons, but I kind of like them.
You know what? I remember watching them. I didn't hate it.
Mm-hmm.
I really didn't. The Jabba thing got on my nerves a little bit when he was walking with Han.
That's still an original scene.
Technically it is.
So
yeah, because they had a heavyset feller like a fur coat.
He wanted to do it.
Yeah.
He just didn't have the technology.
It wasn't too bad. Nah, I didn't hate the special editions. It just sucks that you can't really get the originals anymore.
Actually, I've seen a couple posts that you can find them on some free streaming sites.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But physically, I don't think they've put them out in forever, have they?
No.
Because I think my brother got like a VHS collection, probably 20 years ago or more. Well, no, probably longer than that, probably, of the original releases of it. I think before Lucas put that mandate out there where it's only the special editions. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, hell yeah, dude, that sounds awesome. Now, was it just like a 1 week or 1 weekend thing?
It was, yeah.
Was it?
We caught it on the last day that it was available, so.
Hell yeah. They had a pretty good crowd?
Actually, yeah, I was surprised with it being the latest one of the last day.
Well, true, but I've seen some people, I will say this real fast, I have seen some people online that talked about that. They's like, yeah, this one Star Wars was still good. So I guess fans were like, oh my God, we got a great Star Wars movie back in the theaters again. I'm like, y'all don't own this shit?
Well,
but I will say though, Star Wars is something you really do need to see on the big screen. I will say that for sure.
it makes it better with the sound
Yeah.
and the giant screen.
I'll say that for sure because like I said, I saw that one in theaters and I did see episode 7, of this sequel trip, whatever it is they call these last 3. I did see that one in theaters. And Star Wars is definitely something that needs to be saw in theaters for sure.
Oh yeah,
At least for your first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So was that all you got going on since the last episode, man?
yeah. I was hoping to get the Vader bucket, but I guess they sold those out.
Well, you know.
Yeah, but yeah, that's been all I've been up to. What about you, man?
Well, not much. Grabbed a couple of movies at the flea market. Picked up the 1987 Punisher with Dolph Lundgren on DVD. $2. I ain't passing it up.
Can't beat that.
I don't care what some people say about DVDs. Everybody nowadays is, it's got to be Blu-ray, which granted I do buy mostly Blu-rays when I do buy movies, or 4K or whatever. I'm like, you know what? I like my older movies on DVD because I like it gritty a little bit.
Well, if you really liked it gritty, you'd be buying VHS tapes.
Man, if I had a VCR still, I would.
I mean, the market on that has went super high.
Yeah, man, I wish I still had a VCR. I still got like a ton of VHSs at the house from when I was a kid.
Do you really?
Yeah, I can't say a ton, but a good amount. I wish I still had a VCR, but unfortunately, it broke a long time ago. So.
There's this thing, it's called eBay.
No, I'm not paying out the wazoo for a VCR.
$30. Come on, man.
That's not bad, actually.
Yeah.
And then actually, I also picked up Demolition Man on DVD at the flea market.
One of my favorite movies of all time.
And it was actually, according to the guy who sold it to me, he could have resealed it, but it looked factory sealed. Maybe it was, maybe it wouldn't. I don't know. And I didn't know this because this is the first time I ever actually owned this movie physically. This version of it was a double-sided DVD.
Yeah, that was a big thing.
The only other one I own like that is Conan. Mm-hmm. One side is Conan the Barbarian, the other side is Destroyer. On Demolition Man, one side is full screen, the other side is widescreen.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that. I'm like, okay. Because I can't, half the time I can't tell what it says on the little bitty writing. So I put one side in, I'm like, well, fuck, it said widescreen. I was like, okay, flip it over. And I found the widescreen, so. Yeah, I love Demolition Man. I rewatched it like as soon as I got home after buying it. I rewatched that movie. I'm like, this is some good Stallone right here. Everybody always wants to talk about Rambo and Rocky, which totally, those are quintessential Stallone. Those are what made the man. But Demolition Man, I put it up there with those franchises. I do, man.
Yeah.
And after that, wasn't too long after that, he did his Judge Dredd movie, I think, too, a couple years later or whatever. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm trying to think real quick. Yeah, I think that's about it for me too. It's not been too eventful since our last episode, but we both did a little something.
Yep.
So hell yeah. All right. Like I said, this episode we'll be covering Gatchaman, number 0 from Free Comic Book Day 2024. So yeah, real quick, some background on this for listeners. If you don't know what Gatchaman is, this comic by Mad Cave Studios is based on the 1972 anime by a similar name, the Science Ninja Team Gatchaman. And kind of Power Rangers in a way. There's 5 members of the team. And this series has been dubbed and renamed several times throughout the 80s and 90s here in America. It's been called, what was it, first thing? Battle of the Planets. And most people here in America may know it by the name of Battle of the Planets, which is the first kind of reincarnation of the series, the American reincarnation of the series. And basically, it is the same show, but of course heavily edited, because it is, from what I've researched on it, it was pretty violent of a cartoon, which animes can be. Different, cultural stuff in Japan with that. And it was also called G-Force, Guardians of Space, and a couple of other names. And I've never watched the series, but I really, really like this comic. And when I saw the free issue here last year at Free Comic Book Day, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to pick it up because I've always thought about the cartoon, but I've never bought it. I think you can buy like a box set. It is streaming on some apps. But I never seen it. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to pick up the free comic book. And plus I seen Collin Bunn's name on it. So I'm like, hey, I ain't read Collin Bunn in like, God, years. Mm-hmm. So I thought if he's writing it, we'll give it a shot. So I picked it up and yeah, I really like it. I really enjoyed it a lot. But we'll save that till the end of the episode, but I thought I'd just give a little bit of history on that. It is from 1972. The original cartoon is that this is based on. And I think they did an interview with, not Cullen, but some people that worked at Mad Cave, the publisher of the comic, and they said that they are trying to stick to the original cartoon story-wise and stuff. I'll take you guys' words for it because, again, I've never watched the show. So if that is true, then I think that's great. I mean, you're taking the 1972 series and you're making a modern comic adaptation of it, and you're taking like original stories, ideas, and stuff like that. You're going with the source material, on stuff like that. So I think that's really cool. So this book contains 3 stories. But for this episode, we're going to cover the first story because the first story is what introduced you to Gatchaman and the Science Ninja team, and it leads into the ongoing series that's going on now, which I said is about 9 issues. They've had about 3 one-shots for each member of the team so far, 3 or 4 one-shots, and they've had a couple of other mini-series as well. So check out Mad Cave Studios. Their Gatchaman series is so good. Anybody listening, give it a shot. I think you guys would be very happy with it. So we're going to jump into this. And we open in the city, an unnamed city. I looked in this whole first story. They don't ever say what the name of the city is. Just a random city, I guess. So we open in the city, and it's being attacked by this evil force called Galactor. And Galactor, in the original cartoon series, was this evil group, this evil organization that Gatchaman and the Science Ninja team fought against to protect the Earth from. And they're using this giant spinning wheel with all these big blades on it. And it's just destroying the whole city. And you find out that inside of it, it's almost like a Trojan horse. There's tons of Galactor soldiers in there getting ready to come out and attack the city. And it's really cool how they do this because there is a lot of exposition boxes in it, but they're not very wordy. They're not really...
No, it's not terrible.
Not bad, and basically, like I said, this was the introduction to the comic book, so that's basically kind of what this does. But the artwork, like you said, is anime, which is, of course, because it is based on an anime, and I think it looks beautiful. I think Chris Batista does a great job on the artwork.
It gives me Speed Racer vibes a lot. Yes,
and as you mentioned that, Mad Cave is doing a Speed Racer comic at some point. I didn't get to pick that up because the store didn't have it. Well, damn you, Diamond, and your bankruptcy.
Hey, that's a story for another podcast.
Yes, it is. So, after we see that big giant wheel with the big blades on it and the Galactor's troops inside of it, we are introduced by these boxes, these exposition boxes, to the members of the Science Ninja team. And we are introduced to them, and they are G1, Ken, the Eagle. Oh, and real quick, they all go by bird names because each outfit is like a bird outfit.
Okay.
Various colors. Again, like I said, very Power Ranger-ish in a way.
I can see that.
But yeah, G1, his name is Ken, the Eagle. G2, Joe, the Condor. G3, June, the Swan. G4, Jinpei, the Swallow. Jinpei and June are brother and sister. And G5, Ryu, the Owl. He's the big stocky boy.
Yeah.
Listeners, think Voltron. Beast King, Go Lion. That's kind of, again, Power Rangers as well, but Beast King, Go Lion, Voltron, it's almost similar looking team, kind of in a way.
I get heavy Power Ranger vibes, yeah.
For sure, yeah. Well, like I said, the original cartoon was 1972. I don't remember when Super Sentai first showed up in Japan. I don't know.
That's close.
I was going to say it had to be pretty close. Yeah, if not at least early 80s, if not late 70s. So each member, they drive a different vehicle. The vehicles, I don't remember them giving them names, but they are a jet, a race car, a motorcycle, a little mini tank. Jinpei's driving the little mini tank, and I think that's just an awesome fucking looking vehicle. And Ryu is driving the big jet that they all can combine into, and all their vehicles can combine into this one jet. And once it's combined, the jet is known as the God Phoenix. And it's awesome looking. It's just great. And so while the ninja team, they're fighting the troops because the Galactor troops have come out of the big bladed wheel creation that showed up. You find out that the leader, well, he's not really the leader, but he's kind of like the field commander or whatever, of Galactor. His name is Bergkotze. And Bergkotze is, dude, they did a miniseries for him. He's a ruthless motherfucker. Basically, his miniseries is about trying to find moles that are in Galactor that are trying to wipe him out, trying to kill him. And I don't see, again, not watching the cartoon, I don't know a lot of his history, but I think he's supposed to be kind of like a mutant or something, because he's got like kind of a special abilities and everything. It's a really good miniseries. So anyway, we see that Bergkotze, and he gives the orders to the rest of the troops to totally destroy the city, raze it to the ground, just burn it down, just wipe everybody out. You know, we're gonna make an example of this city to show Earth that Galactor is for real, and that we are going to be the new rulers of the planet Earth. You know, we ain't playing around. So once the God Phoenix is combined, once all the team members get their vehicles and they combine together to the God Phoenix jet, Ken talks to a professor. His name is Dr. Nambu. And Dr. Nambu is kind of the leader. Thinking Power Rangers, he'd be kind of Zordon in a way. You know, he kind of gives them their orders and stuff. Even though Ken is technically, I guess, the leader, the field leader of the team, he kind of still refers to Dr. Nambu when it comes to what he should do and orders and everything like that. So he tells Dr. Nambu, he's like, we've got to stop this giant creation that's attacking the city. And he says the only way that I think that we can do this is to use a very powerful but dangerous technique that the God Phoenix can do. And Dr. Nambu, he's like, I don't know, Ken. He's like, that technique is dangerous. He's like, it could destroy you and the device at the same time. He's like, it's like one of them last minute things, And Ken's like, yeah. He's like, look. He's like, we can't just defeat it in the God Phoenix by itself. We just can't. We don't have the power. We've got to use the technique. And you find out that the technique is called the Firebird. And basically, what happens is the God Phoenix basically becomes a phoenix, a fiery phoenix, like in the X-Men with Jean Grey. It becomes a fiery phoenix. The whole jet becomes that. And basically, how it happens is they just push the God Phoenix to its maximum power, its maximum speed, and it just ignites this power, this technique, and it becomes the Firebird. And they basically just launch right into the big Galactor weapon, the big wheel weapon like that, and they destroy it. And they come out the other end, and Dr. Nambu, he's like, phew. He's like, you guys did it. Y'all saved the city. You saved the citizens. You stopped Galactor. He's like, but the battle's not over. He said, this was just a small win. He's like, Galactor is still going to try to take over the planet and take over the universe. And, after they win, he tells Ken, he's like, all right. He said, Ken, you and the rest of the team come on back to headquarters. He said, basically for debriefing or whatever, talk about what happened. And you see behind Dr. Nambu, when he gets done talking to Ken, that there's another team behind him, and they're in the shadows. And they say to Dr. Nambu, they say that, hey, every time the Science Ninja team go out in the field like that, he said, like, they're risking death and they're risking failure. And Dr. Nambu turns around, he's like, yeah. He's like, well, that's why I got you guys here. And you find out in the ongoing series that they are basically the B team. that they are being trained to be the replacement for the Science Ninja team if that ever does happen. And where I've read now, like I said, I think the 9th issue is coming out now. They want to get out in the field. They want to help the Science Ninja team when they need help, because there's a couple of times that they kind of get in a bind, and Nambu's like, no, he's like, you guys ain't ready yet. And they're like, yeah, we are. We've been training for, a good little while. I was like, let us get in the field. Let's get out there and get trained. And as of the last issue, Nambu brings in this guy who's supposed to be like this super, like, fight choreographer, like trainer and everything, to try to train them and get them ready to go out in the field. And you find out that the trainer is actually Bird Katse, the leader of Galactor, that somehow he infiltrated them. So I'm curious where that's going to go. Like, is he going to sabotage it? Is he going to kill them? What's he going to do? Because he's in the Science Ninja Team headquarters. And I'm like, y'all didn't know this? Like, y'all just didn't pick this shit up? Y'all didn't research this guy before you brought him in here, So yeah, that's the end of the Zero issue. Like I said, it's short. There was 3 stories, but this is the one I really wanted to cover because it's a really good introduction to the comic, a good introduction to the characters. I'm for sure if you were to do a little more research about the animated series, it would definitely give you a lot more background on the characters than what what little bit I told you about and what this comic tells you about. But like I said, it's a brand new comic, 9 issues right now by Mad Cave Studios. I would definitely check it out. I don't think they've done a paperback collection yet or anything, but they're like, whatever the new price is. I think it's like $4.99 or $3.99 an issue. You can pick them up at any comic store, or online, or anything. So definitely worth picking up. What'd you think about it, man?
I liked it. I really like the art style.
Yeah, that art style is amazing. I really like it.
I mean, it doesn't have any lines at all.
I hope Chris Batista stays on this title for a good little while. I don't know if he will, but I hope he does.
It's good. It was written well. Yeah, I would recommend it, especially if you're into anime style stuff or Japanese stuff at all.
Oh yeah, and like I said, Mad Cave. I know they're going to do a Speed Racer comic, which I'm not going to get it. I mean, I have the entire original cartoon on Blu-ray. I'm not going to get the comic. Another comic they're going to do that I really want, I wanted to get the free comic book day of that, but again, supposedly, according to the gentleman that worked there, according to them, because of the whole bankruptcy stuff and everything like that, some of the free comic books got canceled. And I think one of the ones you were looking for was canceled.
Yeah. What was it, Stitch?
Stitch. I think it was Stitch. Yeah, I think it was Stitch. The Speed Racer got canceled, and they're going to do one based on the Phantom. If people can remember who that is, originally started out as a comic strip like in the 30s.
Kind of like Dick Tracy.
Kind of. Had his own movie.
Billy Zane
in the 90s, yep. And then the 80s kids, as myself and you, might remember him from Defenders of the Earth cartoon series and toy line. He was in there with Flash Gordon, Ming the Merciless, all that stuff like that. They're going to do a comic based on him that I'm going to try to pick up. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's great. There's a lot of good comics out there right now. I wanted to cover something new. We'll get back to the retro stuff next episode, but I thought I want to throw a little new stuff, a little fresh blood in here every once in a while,
It works. Give you a variety.
For sure, yeah. But yeah, that's all I got for this issue, man. You got anything you want to add to it?
We mentioned Super Sentai. That started in 1975. So
okay, so this was before Sentai.
That's crazy.
Again, I didn't do a lot of research, listeners. If you want to do a little research and let us know, I'm wondering if it's influenced, possibly.
I'd say so.
The creation of Sentai.
At least from that single story we just went over.
Because, like I said, it is a 5-team group. At least as far as I know, they didn't have mechs. They just had the vehicles and stuff like that. So.
And if you want to pick it up, it was a free comic.
It was, yeah.
But the rebuy value is about $2-3. Yeah. Which ain't bad.
That ain't too bad.
No.
I think that's what we'll have to do with that Phantom comic. I'm going to see if I can find it to buy it because I really want it because they didn't have it. So.
Yeah. I asked a question on our Facebook.
Yes.
I asked what everybody's favorite terrible movie was.
Oh, Lord. I don't remember what my answer was.
Your answer was No Holds Barred.
It was No Holds Barred. Okay, yeah.
Everybody else's answers was Student Bodies.
Okay.
Any movie made with Lloyd Kaufman.
Okay.
Howard the Duck. Repo the Genetic Opera, which you still have to watch.
I know. I still have to watch it.
It wasn't even me that picked that. Kung Pao.
Okay.
Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Hey, man, that's a good movie.
I hate that fucking movie.
That's a good movie.
That is one of the worst movies.
And those Lloyd Kaufmans, those are trauma movies. That's your Toxic Avenger and stuff right there, man.
Well, I'm down with those, but I hate Robin Hood Men in Tights.
I love that movie.
And it's got the dude from Princess Bride, so it makes it...
I forgot his name now. Cary Elwes? I think that's how you pronounce his name.
I don't remember. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Not bad. That's good.
Freddy Got Fingered. I forgot about that one.
Yeah, I forgot about that one. Yeah.
Cannibal the Musical.
Don't know that one.
Spasms.
Don't know that one.
This one comes in from our lovely friend Autumn. She specializes in terrible movies. An 80s slasher movie called Blood Lake.
Blood Lake. Sounds familiar, but I don't think I've ever seen it before, though.
Twilight Saga. And they say they loved him as a preteen for the story. Now they enjoy it in a similar way to how boys enjoy watching The Room.
I consider them a guilty pleasure of mine. I was one of those people who was like, well, they make my vampires. But then I watched them and I'm like, oh, shit, I like them. So
I can't do it.
Yeah.
Free LSD.
Okay.
Poultrygeist.
I know of that, but never watched it.
Boondock Saints. I wouldn't consider that a terrible movie, but
no. The second one is, it's not as good as the first one because it's like 10 years later. But it's they're both still good movies though.
Okay. Caveman.
I don't know that one.
Spaceballs.
Oh no, that's
not a terrible movie.
That movie's fucking amazing.
Yeah. Evil Bong. FS.
Oh wow, I've heard about that movie.
Bad Taste by Peter Jackson.
No, I don't know that. No.
I'm not familiar with that, but a lot of people seem to like it.
Okay.
Dolls.
Yeah, I'm not for sure about that one either.
Godzilla 98.
I agree, that's a terrible movie. That's not even Godzilla. That's Zilla.
It's one of their favorites.
That's Zilla.
Point Break.
Well, that's not bad. It's actually pretty good. It's one of Keanu Reeves' earliest films.
Evil Bong 777.
Okay.
Petey Wheatstraw, The Devil's Son-in-Law.
I have no idea about that one.
And Strange Brew.
That sounds familiar, but I don't think I've ever seen it before. I'm a movie watcher, but I'm not like a big movie watcher. I'm hit and miss with films that I choose to watch. Like ever since I started listening to like some of these movie podcasts, I've watched a lot of Tubi and watched a lot of older movies that I never probably would have watched before.
Well, this girl, she's been getting me into watching Tubi a lot, and the last thing we watched was Zombie Strippers.
Ooh, okay.
Okay. The effects are horrible.
Oh, is it like an Italian movie?
No, it's American.
Okay.
And the guy that plays one of the big actors in it is the guy that played Freddy.
Oh, Robert Englund?
Yeah, but he's just a normal-looking dude, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, it's terrible. The plot is terrible, but it's terrible in a fun way.
Okay. Oh, now that you mention that, yeah, real quick, I actually was on Tubi, and I've watched, I forgot to mention this at the beginning of the episode, I've actually went through the whole Hatchet movie series. Those are some low-budget horror movies that Kane Hodder, if anybody remembers who he is, he played Jason in 4 Friday the 13th films. He plays the main slasher person, Victor Crowley, and Robert Englund's in the first movie of that one and gets murdered in that one. So, yeah, they're low budget, but they're fun. They're gory, stupid fun. I like those. Tony Todd's in 2 of them, I think. They're like 2006 up through 2017, I believe there's 4 of them.
Okay.
They're pretty fun movies. Now that you mentioned Tubi, I forgot I watched those on Tubi. They're pretty fun movies.
Something else is on there. We watched Zach and Miriam Make a Porno.
Oh, yeah.
It was sappier than I expected.
I remember that movie, but I don't think I've actually ever seen it. But I know of it, though.
It's good.
It's Seth Rogen, right?
Yeah, Seth Rogen plays the main dude.
That's why I never watched it.
I'm not a fan of his, but he did good in this movie.
Okay.
And I don't remember who played the girl. But Jason Mewes played like a bigger role. There was no Kevin Smith in it at all.
Okay. There's a vampire movie that he's in too that's on Tubi, but I can't think of the name of it. And it's almost like a straight horror in a way. And he's like
Is it Red State? No.
I can't remember. I can't remember the name of the vampire movie. It's a low budget vampire movie, and he ends up being like the boyfriend of the vampire girl or whatever. And I think he ends up having to kill her at the end of the movie. But it's actually a pretty good film. He actually acts in it pretty decently. I can't remember what the year was or the name. I'll have to send that to you once I get on Tubi again and find it. But
the dude from The Office, the black dude.
I don't know his name, but I think I know who you're talking about.
Okay, he was in Hot Tub Time Machine, I think, too.
Okay.
He was in Zack and Miriam, too.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Hot Tub Time Machine's pretty good. I only watched the first one. It's a pretty good movie. I like that one. Yeah, Tubi's the place to go, man.
Apparently,
for old low budget horror films, whether American or Italian or whatever. Well, not just horror movies. I mean, you can find old cartoons on there, old TV shows on there. Even Tubi originals. Talking about comic books real fast, there's a Tubi original cartoon on there based on an old 80s property called RoboForce that is owned by
I know what that is.
the Nacelle Company.
Yeah.
They got toys at our local Walmart. They got toys put out. And they've created, with Oni Press, ONI, they've created a Nacelle-verse. We talked about it once previously. They've done 3 issues of Sectars, Biker Mice from Mars, RoboForce, and Power Lords. And Biker Mice is getting ready to get an ongoing comic book series. And it's a 6-episode cartoon series on Tubi. It's an original. You get cameos from Biker Mice. You get cameos from Cows of Moo Mesa. You get cameos from Sectars. Everybody, because it's their Nacelle verse that they're trying to build. So that's a good cartoon to watch on there if you ever want to get on there and watch that. Yeah, Tubi's great. You want to find some low budget bullshit movies that are just crazy but fun to watch, go to Tubi for sure.
I was missing out.
Go to Tubi, go to Plex. Oh yeah, there's all kinds of crazy apps out there to watch stuff.
Freebie.
Freebie, yeah, Freebie's good. Pluto's okay, but Pluto gets on my nerves because sometimes Pluto, they're like a live kind of free app channel that they schedule stuff. So if you don't catch it, you have to wait till it circles back around, you know. So I prefer Tubi and Freebie and stuff like that, you know. Roku channel, if you've got a Roku TV, the Roku channel's got some good stuff on it. So.
All right. I think that pretty much wraps that up.
It does, yeah.
So the next episode is our 25th episode.
Ooh.
We'll have made it a year.
Yes, we will. I think our first episode dropped, late June?
Yeah.
Late June, I think our first episode last year dropped. Hell yeah. We made it a year!
That's amazing considering. So we got to do something special.
Sure.
And we're going to do Amazing Fantasy number 15.
Hell yeah.
The first appearance of Spider-Man.
Hell yeah. Again, never read it.
I have not either. I'm looking forward to it. Where can they reach us, Dan?
You can reach us on Instagram. You can reach us on Facebook. We have a Discord that's totally free. There'll be a link in the description for that. You can talk about wrestling on there, video games, movies, cartoons, just general life, man, if you want to. It's a great place to go and just chat with us on there. We're on YouTube. We do toy reviews on there, anywhere from 5 to 12-minute toy reviews on there. And our audio podcast is also in there. That way, if you want to play it in the background while you're doing something, you can. Please, thumbs up, like and subscribe on there. Leave us a comment, good or bad. Toys you want us to review, maybe. Comics you might want us to try to review. If we can get our hands on them, we definitely will give it a shot and try to review them for you. We love the feedback. We want more feedback.
Yes, please.
And we have an email. Sean, what's the email address?
geekswithbeardspod@gmail.com. And the Facebook and Instagram, if you go looking for them, is Geeks with Beards Podcast.
Yep. Type that in and we should pop up. You'll see our pretty little Funko Pop faces on there. But the Discord is probably where we're well, at least me. Sean's on there quite a bit.
I've been
as well.
slacking the last.
But the Discord is definitely the place to interact with us the most. But the Facebook is too. You can get on there on the Facebook like that and share some stuff on there like that. But the Discord is where if you want to chat with us, ask us questions like that, get on Discord. Yeah. For sure. That's where we're the most active at on the Discord for sure, yeah.
If you're not familiar with Discord, it's pretty much like what forums used to be, but it's like a group chat for everybody.
Yeah. Like I said, it's awesome on there. You can get on there and we talk about anything we want to talk about on there. It's a great place to be. Safe place to be too. So
yep.
You ain't got to worry about nothing on that place.
No, we got a good group of people.
We do. And you know, if we got some bad people on there, Sean will just find you and beat you over the head with a guitar. You know, whatever. You know.
I'll make them look at Jim Lee comics for a year.
Damn it, he's not that bad.
Listen to Nickelback.
He's not. I might give you that one. Well, that'll wrap it up for this episode of the Geeks with Beards podcast. Like Sean said, next time for our 25th episode, we will be reading Amazing Fantasy 15, the first appearance of Spider-Man, which, yes, sadly, I have not read that, but it's going to be an ongoing thing with this podcast. There's going to be a lot of comics I've never read before that'll be my first time reading them.
Those are my favorite ones, is the ones we haven't read.
Yeah, and even some that I have read that we've covered, it's good to go back and refresh my memory because honestly, once I read a book, it may be another 10, 15 years before I touch it again, maybe. It just depends, you know. So, yeah. So, that was our episode covering Gatchaman number 0 from Free Comic Book Day 2024. I'm Dan. This is Sean. And until next time, we'll catch you later. Bye, everybody.
Up in the sky, look! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's
Geeks with Beards. Podcast.
Like Sean said, next time we'll be reading Amazing Fantasy 15 for our 25th anniversary. 25th anniversary.
Whoa.